দর্শক আমন্ত্রণ RTV নিয়মিত আলোচনা অনুষ্ঠান ফোর্থরাইটে আপনাদের সঙ্গে আছে আমি সৈয়দ আশিক রহমান। এই অনুষ্ঠানে আমরা কথা বলি বিভিন্ন সেক্টরের বিশেষজ্ঞদের সাথে যারা বাংলাদেশ নিয়ে ভবিষ্যৎ পরিকল্পনা ও অভিজ্ঞতা নিয়ে আলোচনা করেন। আমাদের আজকের অতিথি মার্কিন সরকারি সাহায্য সংস্থা USAID's ডেপুটি মিশন ডিরেক্টর পল সাবাতিন। Very welcome Mr. Paul Sabatin at RTV studio.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm fine. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, that is good.
Weather's okay.
You are currently serving as a Deputy Mission Director of USAID. What are some of your most memorable moments?
It's been a real pleasure and a privilege, in fact, to have served in Bangladesh as long as I have. There's so many things I remember. I think above all, it's the people. Everywhere I've gone, I've been greeted by some of the most amazing and fantastic people I've seen anywhere in the world. Warm, friendly, sincere, hardworking. That will stay with me forever. I think I will remember the faces and the smiles and the hospitality.
And the hardworking people.
Hardworking but also kind and generous and very, very warm and friendly and hospitable. That I will keep with me wherever I go.
We know that you are nearing the end of your second tenure. What is your most notable differences you have noticed between your first tour and your second tour?
First came to Bangladesh in 2004, and then I went away for a number of years and came back in 2011. And during that time, the pace of change and the development and the positive things that have happened in the society are quite noticeable. I think a few that stand out in my mind would be basic education. You know, during that time, the country achieved universal primary enrollment or near universal enrollment. That's an amazing breakthrough. I remember when I first came that the numbers were nowhere near 100%, and now almost every child in this country enrolls in primary school. You know, that's an amazing accomplishment. I also, during the time that I've been here, the country has achieved or nearly achieved replacement level fertility. You know, so Bangladesh went from being having one of the highest fertility rates in the world to getting replacement level fertility. I mean, it's really the most successful voluntary family planning program in the world. You know, that also is an amazing accomplishment that the people should be very, very proud of. And I can go on. There's so many things like that.
This is really success story.
Yeah. And that I think defines my experience in Bangladesh. You know, there's been many challenges, but also many, many successes. I mean, this is one of the most successful development stories anywhere. What Bangladesh has done since independence is truly, truly remarkable.
Great. Well, now come to our main topics. We know USAID has been working here for several decades. Since the early 1970s, it has partnered numbers of initiatives. In this course of time, there are lots of success stories as well as disappointment. What inspired you most to continue your operations here?
Well, I think what it inspires me is the fact that our work here really is the product of a partnership. You know, I've worked in many countries around the world, and there's, in every case, in every country, there's something to look at and be proud of. But what is probably most significant here is the fact that our work from the very beginning is the product of a real partnership. Not just us telling people what to do, not just us giving handouts, but genuinely sitting down with qualified, capable, talented, and very imaginative counterparts and colleagues from the government and from civil society and from NGOs here in Bangladesh, and talking about and identifying shared priorities, and then a plan of action for how we can together go about and achieve those shared priorities. And the fact that it is such a product of a real partnership, that's, I think, what has led to so much of the success that we've been able to, that we can jointly look on and take a great deal of pride in.
Then what have been USAID's greatest achievements in food security?
I think in food security, there's historically, going back to the very beginning, we've been very involved in agricultural production. Even before the Liberation War, before independence, we were working under the Green Revolution to increase, rice productivity. So this is something we've had a long-standing engagement in. In recent years, however, there's a couple of things I could point to that have been, genuine breakthroughs. The urea deep placement technology, it's a method of utilizing fertilizer that improves efficiency, reduces the input cost for farmers, and also boosts the output, the production of the farmers by quite a bit. I mean, by 20%, 25%. So it costs less, they use less fertilizer, and they get more rice.
Yes.
It doesn't get any better than that.
What are the key achievements of the result of USAID and Bangladesh partnership in development? And what are some key challenges?
There's a number of achievements I think that we can look for in the health field. Reduction of early child mortality has been dramatic. Bangladesh is one of the few countries in the world to attain the Millennium Development Goal for maternal and child survival. That again is another amazing accomplishment, and we played a big part of that. We didn't do it alone. We did it hand in hand with colleagues from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. We did it with in partnership with local NGOs, international organizations. It was a group effort. We all played a role, but working together in that manner led to a really dramatic and amazing outcome. So that's something we're very proud of. The work under our Feed the Future, or the food security initiative of the president, has also been remarkably successful. Bangladesh has for the initiative worldwide, and there's many countries around the world that are working on food security under this initiative. Bangladesh has produced almost 30% of the results for the whole world. So that means this global initiative is a big choice. Almost 1/3 of the worldwide results for this initiative are right here in Bangladesh. I mean, that's amazing. That's another remarkable achievement that, again, is a result of that kind of partnership and cooperative effort. But there's still challenges. There's a lot of things that we have left to do. Nutrition is one of them. Nutrition remains a persistent problem in Bangladesh. There's issues, and it's across all income spectrums. It's not just among the poor people. It also affects even the middle and upper classes.
Middle and upper classes.
And many factors lead to this. It's a question of dietary habits, preference, availability of food, and also the
food habit also.
Yeah, if people eat what they're taught to eat, and so this is a long-term effort in both educating people about proper nutrition, ensuring that good, high-quality, pure, nutritious food is available, and then slowly changing those habits and behaviors and the preferences of people. And this isn't something you can do overnight. There's many aspects to this problem, but it's definitely one of the persistent problems that still it requires a lot of work. We're working on it. The government is aware of this. They're working on it. Civil society. A lot of people realize this is an issue. But that's a challenge that will be with us for several more years to come.
SMC and ICDDRB, there are so many notable involvements between Bangladesh and USAID. What would you say defines USAID legacy here in Bangladesh? Again,
I think our legacy is one of partnership. That's probably the thing that will endure, even after I'm gone, after my colleagues are gone. Someday Bangladesh will be a developed country, and AID won't even be here. We won't be necessary. But long after we are gone and our work is done, that sense of partnership and cooperation, I think, will remain. We've built a remarkable foundation that will continue, and that partnership will evolve and it will change over the years, but I don't see it ever going away. And that's something I think that, again, another thing in which I will take great pride, and I will, wherever I go and through the rest of my life, I will consider myself a friend and partner of Bangladesh, and in its development, in its progress, and its prosperity.
Good to know. What are the major areas that USAID currently work on?
Right now, our programs are heavily focused on the three major presidential initiatives. That would be global climate change, Feed the Future, or nutrition and food security, and global health. We also have smaller but very important programs that are looking at democracy and governance, at basic education.
Basic education.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Paul, we'll talk more after a short break.
Okay, very good.
দর্শক দেখছেন RTV নিয়মিত আলোচনা অনুষ্ঠান ফোর্থরাইট। এই পর্যায়ে নিচ্ছি ছোট্ট একটি বিরতি, ফিরছি একটু পরে। সে পর্যন্ত আমাদের সাথে থাকুন। দর্শক, আবার আমন্ত্রণ ফোর্থরাইট অনুষ্ঠানে। আজকে কথা বলছিলাম USAID বাংলাদেশের ডেপুটি মিশন ডিরেক্টর পল সাবাতিনের সঙ্গে। Very welcome again, Mr. Paul Sabatin at RTV Studio.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Paul, as a leader in the global health initiatives, what are the key activities moving forward that will improve the health of females in developing countries?
Our programs here in Bangladesh are looking specifically at developing systems for healthcare delivery so that women and girls and children anywhere in the country will have access to basic services that they need to have healthy and productive lives. And that will continue. The work already has been very, very successful. You know, we've been able to partner with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and other organizations to expand the reach of these basic health services into, you know, remote, far-flung and underserved parts of the country, so that this basic service package is available to people wherever they are. That, again, I think sets a sort of model or a standard for healthcare delivery in any developing country. Going forward, it's that the value of that approach has been quite notable. That it's partly that's why Bangladesh has been so successful in reducing maternal and child mortality over the years. You know, nowadays Bangladesh is starting to have a demographic profile, particularly for mothers and young children, that looks almost like a developing country. Infectious diseases are not the threat or the scourge they used to be. Nowadays, in many cases, Bangladesh is starting to grapple with the same healthcare challenges that we grapple with in the United States. So that's a big success. I mean, it's taken one of our staff actually described to me that the demographic transformation that's happened in Bangladesh in the last 10 or 20 years is one of the most revolutionary in history, comparable only to what happened in Japan during the Meiji Restoration. You know, that it's something of that magnitude that isn't necessarily widely known or understood or appreciated, but all you have to do is talk to somebody who lived here 50 years ago and talk to someone who lives here now, and the differences are stark. People don't die of starvation. People don't die of the kinds of infectious diseases. You know, these are, again,
achievement and
major achievements.
Big success. Well, Mr. Paul, data suggests that USAID assistance has improved the living condition of Bangladesh. Can you explain?
To improve living conditions. Well, we're looking at you know, a couple of different aspects, because to improve somebody's life, you can't just tackle one piece of it. You know, there's so much that goes into the quality of life. So, you know, healthcare is an important part. That I think the basis of what we're trying to do is enhance resilience, so that in the past, a person who's living on the edge, you know, somebody who's very poor and very marginal, all it takes is one little thing to go wrong, and they lose everything. You know, the father gets sick. He can't get medical care, the father dies, the family is suddenly without an income, and they spiral into, you know, catastrophe. Or a farmer with a very small land holding has one bad crop, one bad harvest, and that's the end. He's in debt and he can never get out. So what we're trying to do is work with people, especially those who are the most marginal and the most at risk, and give them the tools they need and the support, so that that these kinds of crises or shocks or disturbances don't ruin them, that they can move forward. Somebody gets sick, he gets health care, and a couple days later he's better and back at work. You know, the child gets sick, that doesn't lead to you know, the tragic death of a child. It's simply an episode in childhood that is almost forgotten a few months later. You know, if with proper care, so many of these things, or with proper support and with the systems in place, most of these things can be worked through. They don't have to be catastrophes. That's what we're trying to do, is help people develop the resilience so that they can face these challenges and then move on. And not be overcome or defeated by them.
Well, great to know. The volume and nature of USAID operation is different from that of an NGO.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're programming hundreds of millions of dollars every year.
Yeah.
I like to think I have the best job in the U.S. government because people often forget that development is an important part of U.S. policy. Like, we honestly believe that a healthy, prosperous, secure world is in everybody's interests.
Well,
nobody wins from poverty, nobody wins from disease, nobody wins from hunger. And so a very fundamental and important aspect of U.S. foreign policy is trying to promote these things around the world. You know, we don't win, and the world doesn't win if countries are left behind, if vast populations suffer from neglect, or you know, the world wins when everyone develops. And basically, the world wins when everybody wins.
Well,
so that's really what my job is all about, is looking at the parts of the world that are, you know, that maybe have less than the United States, and figuring out, you know, how can we help them move forward.
Well.
And John F. Kennedy, when he created USAID, he once said something along the lines, I forget the exact quote, but it was something along the lines that the U.S., looking, you know, the cruel lens of history will look back, and they will judge us not by how we treated the powerful and the wealthy, but what we did for the ones who were weaker than us or poorer than us, the ones who had less than us. And that's really what my work is about.
How is USAID dealing with nutrition issues in Bangladesh?
Well, in the area of nutrition, we're trying to understand this problem because it's a very complex issue. We've done a lot of research, and you know, and we're getting a better understanding every day about the different factors, or the constellation of factors that create this problem. And then we're working with a range of partners to tackle it piece by piece. We're trying to promote better crop diversification, so that better food is available for people, and more of that kind of food is produced. We're trying to work with the government and other partners to promote food safety, so that the food that is available in the markets is, you know, it's healthy, it's clean, it's not adulterated. We're also trying to promote better awareness, so that people understand how to cook healthy dishes and how to eat healthy proportions. So there's many different aspects of this. But we're trying piece by piece to address all of them.
Step by step.
Step by step, exactly. It's not something that you can fix in a day.
Because it's a huge work about nutrition.
It is. Well, it's a monumental task. It's a very big task that faces us, and it's also a very complex task. There's no one answer to this problem.
We must start step by step.
Exactly. You have to start somewhere.
Step after step. Okay, Mr. Paul, we are almost end of the program.
Okay.
Any final thoughts you want to share with our viewers?
I would just, I think, like to leave a word of thanks for the people of Bangladesh. By the time I leave, I will have been here for more than 8 years, and I can't even begin to describe how much I've learned from my time here. You know, I came here thinking that I had all the answers, and that I was going to, I thought I was on some mission to change Bangladesh, and I didn't realize how much Bangladesh would change me. And I have learned so many things about life, about development, and about all, you know, things I never even imagined I would learn. And for that, I will be always grateful. This is an amazing place with wonderful, wonderful people.
Great word, Mr. Paul. Thank you for being with us, and we wish you good health and all success in coming days.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. দর্শক, মার্কিন সরকারের সবচেয়ে বড় সাহায্য সংস্থা USAID বাংলাদেশে বিভিন্ন উন্নয়নমূলক কাজের অংশীদার। বিগত কয়েক দশকে সংস্থাটি বাংলাদেশের শিক্ষা, স্বাস্থ্য খাতের উন্নয়ন সহ বাল্য বিবাহ প্রতিরোধে কাজ করছে। পল সাবাতিনের দীর্ঘ 8 বছরের অভিজ্ঞতা ভবিষ্যতে বাংলাদেশকে উচ্চমাত্রায় আসীন করবে বলেই আমাদের বিশ্বাস। এই প্রত্যাশায় শেষ করছি ফোর্থরাইট। এতক্ষণ আমাদের সাথে থাকার জন্য ধন্যবাদ সবাই।